Born on March 28, 1986, in Yonkers, New York, Stefani Joanne Angelina Germanotta grew up in a family that balanced tradition with ambition. Her parents, Cynthia and Joseph Germanotta, worked hard to provide stability. Her mother, a businesswoman with a refined sense of discipline, and her father, an internet entrepreneur known for his fiery temperament. From the outside, it seemed like a typical Italian-American household. But inside their modest home, a storm of creativity was brewing. Stefani was a prodigy at the piano by age 4, able to play by ear with haunting precision. By 13, she had written her first piano ballad, and at 14, she was performing in Manhattan nightclubs, too young to even enter legally, yet already captivating audiences with raw talent. But talent did not shield her from cruelty. At school, she was bullied relentlessly for being eccentric, for looking different, and for refusing to conform. Classmates mocked her for her big nose, her unusual style, and her dramatic flair. Those early wounds cut deep, planting both insecurity and an unshakable determination to prove them wrong. At 17, Stefani earned early admission to NYU's prestigious Tisch School of the Arts, an honor granted to only a handful of students worldwide. Yet even there, she felt out of place. After 2 years, she made the radical decision to drop out, convinced that true artistry couldn't be taught in classrooms. That leap into the unknown marked the first step in transforming Stefani Germanotta into Lady Gaga. After walking away from the safety of NYU, Stefani Germanotta faced a harsh reality. The music industry wasn't waiting for her. She dove into New York's Lower East Side club scene, performing in cramped bars and underground venues where the air was thick with cigarette smoke and ambition. There she sharpened her craft, provocative lyrics, theatrical stage presence, and a voice that could shift from haunting whispers to thunderous belts. In 2005, she signed briefly with Def Jam Records only to be dropped within months, a rejection that nearly crushed her. But instead of giving up, she fought harder. She hustled as a songwriter, penning tracks for pop heavyweights like Britney Spears, Fergie, and the Pussycat Dolls. Her skill for crafting infectious hooks began to turn heads behind the scenes, but her own spotlight remained elusive. It wasn't until 2007 that opportunity knocked. She landed a publishing deal with Interscope Records, and fatefully, music producer Akon heard her demo. Impressed, he signed her to his Con Live label under Interscope. Lady Gaga was born, her stage name inspired by Queen's anthem Radio Gaga. In 2008, she released her debut single, Just Dance. What began as a club track quickly exploded into a worldwide phenomenon, topping charts across the globe. The song's success was more than a hit. It was a declaration. Lady Gaga had arrived, and she wasn't going anywhere. Stefani Germanotta's decision to leave NYU's Tisch School of the Arts was a gamble few understood. Alone, without the prestige of a degree or the backing of powerful industry players, she carved her path on New York's gritty Lower East Side. Night after night, she performed in tiny clubs, often to crowds who didn't know her name, but who left remembering the strange, fearless girl who blended glam rock with cabaret, pop hooks with shocking theatrics. Her big break didn't come easily. In 2005, she briefly signed with Def Jam Records, only to be dropped after just a few months. For many, that rejection would have been the end. But for Stefani, it was fuel. She reinvented herself as a songwriter for others, quietly penning tracks for Britney Spears, Fergie, and the Pussycat Dolls. Even when she was invisible to the public, her fingerprints were already on the charts. In 2007, everything changed. She secured a publishing deal with Interscope, and during a studio session, her raw energy caught the attention of Akon. Struck by her voice and her vision, he signed her to his Con Live label. It was at this moment that Stefani Germanotta shed her birth, name and embraced the persona of Lady Gaga, a title borrowed from Queen's Radio Gaga. The gamble finally paid off in 2008. Her debut single, Just Dance, started as an underground club anthem before detonating into a global hit, reaching #1 on the Billboard charts. Almost overnight, Lady Gaga went from struggling artist to the newest and boldest voice in pop music. Lady Gaga's arrival was not subtle, it was seismic. In 2008, her debut album The Fame became a cultural explosion. With Just Dance and Poker Face dominating charts worldwide, Gaga was no longer a struggling artist. She was the face of a new pop era. Her music videos, drenched in surreal imagery and avant-garde fashion, turned her into both a pop star and a living art installation. By 2010, the Fame monster solidified her reign, unleashing Bad Romance, Telephone with Beyoncé, and Alejandro. These weren't just songs. They were spectacles, pushing boundaries of sound, image, and sexuality. Gaga's fashion choices became as infamous as her music. The infamous meat dress at the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards stunned the world. Provocative, bizarre, unforgettable. Critics called her the new Madonna, but Gaga was carving out her own mythology, one built on shock value, bold artistry, and raw vulnerability. Her live performances cemented her legend. The Monster Ball tour grossed over $220 million, making it one of the highest-earning tours ever by a debut artist. Fans didn't just attend her shows, they worshipped at them. Gaga wasn't selling music. She was creating a universe where misfits and dreamers finally belonged. But she wasn't done. Gaga crossed into Hollywood with A Star Is Born, 2018, starring alongside Bradley Cooper. Her performance as Ally not only shattered expectations, but earned her critical acclaim, a Golden Globe nomination, and an Academy Award win for Shallow, a ballad that became an anthem of longing and triumph. By the end of the 2010s, Lady Gaga was more than a pop star. She was a global icon, one who blurred the lines between music, fashion, film, and activism. From the clubs of New York to the Oscars stage, Gaga had ascended to the absolute peak of stardom. With fame came scrutiny. And for Lady Gaga, scandal was never far behind. From the moment she stepped onto the global stage, critics accused her of relying on shock tactics rather than talent. The infamous meat dress at the 2010 MTV Video Music Awards sparked outrage from animal rights groups, who called it grotesque and offensive. To Gaga, it was a statement on political protest and personal freedom. To others, it was just another stunt. Her provocative music videos also ignited controversy. Religious groups condemned Alejandro for its blasphemous imagery, while Judas stirred outrage for mixing biblical themes with sexual symbolism. Gaga thrived in the storm, but each headline further blurred the line between artistry and scandal. Her personal life also fed the tabloids. Her high-profile engagement to actor Taylor Kinney ended abruptly, leaving fans speculating about the pressures of stardom. Rumors of feuds with Madonna, Katy Perry, and even her own collaborators kept gossip columns busy. And beneath the surface, Gaga faced an invisible battle. A diagnosis of fibromyalgia, a chronic pain disorder that at times left her unable to perform. In her Netflix documentary Gaga, 5'2", she revealed moments of excruciating vulnerability, crying on the floor, unable to move, even as the world demanded perfection. The weight of fame also brought exhaustion. At the height of her success, critics whispered that her career was fading, that the theatrics had overshadowed the music. Some called her a manufactured star destined to burn out. Yet through every scandal, be it the dresses, the controversies, or the whispers of decline, Gaga endured. The very chaos that threatened to destroy her became the crucible that would forge her reinvention. After years of being labeled as the Queen of Shock, Lady Gaga knew she needed to prove she was more than costumes and controversy. That reinvention began with her 2016 album Joanne. Stripped of the wigs and theatrics, Gaga revealed a more vulnerable personal side. The album, named after her late aunt, explored themes of family, grief, and healing. Critics were divided, but fans saw a raw honesty that redefined her artistry. The world truly witnessed her rebirth during the 2017 Super Bowl halftime show. With no outrageous gimmicks, Gaga delivered a performance of sheer power and precision, singing, dancing, and flying across the stadium. It silenced doubters and reminded millions why she was a once-in-a-generation performer. Her transformation reached new heights with A Star Is Born in 2018. As Ally, Gaga shed the armor of her pop persona and emerged as a credible actress. Her duet Shallow not only won her an Academy Award, but also became a cultural anthem of vulnerability and resilience. Offstage, she leaned into activism. Through the Born This Way Foundation, Gaga championed mental health, LGBTQ+ rights, and anti-bullying initiatives. No longer just a pop provocateur, she had become a voice for empowerment and healing. Lady Gaga's reinvention proved that survival in Hollywood isn't about avoiding pain. It's about turning it into power. Lady Gaga's legacy reaches far beyond the Billboard charts. She is not only a pop superstar, but a cultural force who redefined what it means to be an artist in the 21st century. By blending music, fashion, performance art, and activism, she created a space where individuality is celebrated and outsiders are embraced. Her fearless creativity influenced a new generation of performers, proving that authenticity, even when messy or misunderstood, is more powerful than perfection. From Just Dance to Shallow, Gaga's songs have become soundtracks of resilience, reminding millions that difference is strength, not weakness. Equally important is her impact offstage. Through her Born This Way Foundation and her advocacy for mental health and LGBTQ+ rights, Gaga has used her fame as a platform for change. In the end, Lady Gaga's journey is proof that reinvention is survival, and survival is triumph. From Stefani Germanotta to a global icon, she showed the world that being unapologetically different can change culture forever. If you enjoyed this journey through the scandals, struggles, and reinvention of Lady Gaga, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Stars and Scandals.